College football games in the SEC are not beauty contests. They are a weekly reality series. Oklahoma's win last Saturday over Missouri was half America's Got Talent and half Survivor. And Brent Venables' defense played a starring role in both once again. And with a little Sooner magic from John Mateer and Isaiah Satania sprinkled in, a special season stayed alive with the regular season series finale set for this Saturday. From Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium in Norman, this is Sooner Game Day presented by Taco Mayo. Tap the app and save today. All that stands between the Sooners and the college football playoff is a wounded but talented foe backed into a corner. The LSU Tigers had playoff hopes themselves when the season's journey began, but now have an interim head coach and a 7-4 record. Kickoff set for 2:30 ABC TV right here on Senior Day at the Palace on the Prairie. Good to be alongside my mates once again. I'm your host, Chad McKee, and we know the Butkus Bednarik Award-winning linebacker, national champion at Oklahoma, Teddy Lehman. Sandwiched in between us is the Werfel Trophy winner, academic All-American of the Year, All-American center, Gabe Eichert. Guys trying to tame two Tigers in a row at home to close the season, and it's all at hand. You're one win away from the first college football playoff appearance for Oklahoma since 2020, the first since the expanded playoff came into play. How do you keep the main thing, Teddy, and get this thing done?
Well, I mean, you're right here close to the finish line, right? And I know that there's been these thoughts of, man, are they looking ahead? Are these trap games? But you mentioned it. This is your first opportunity in a while, first time in the expanded playoff. I would be shocked if anyone over there in the locker room is looking ahead to anything else. This is a big moment.
There's nothing to look ahead to.
That's it.
Good point.
We don't know
what
the matchup would be. We don't know if we'd be hosting. Like, you would just be guessing. And this team has done a great job of having the, hey, control what you can control mindset throughout this season. And that's where we're at with this one. You got one game left to prove the type of football team you are. What happens after that, we'll see. But you got to live in the here and now. And have we beaten LSU in our lifetimes?
It's only my been a couple lifetime, games. Yes. Yours, I'm not sure.
Because we lost to them in the national championship, the college football playoff, and we lost to them last year.
We've lost to them in a lot of stuff lately. We owe them 10 in a row.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing for me is I'm not overlooking LSU. I want to see us beat LSU.
Good point.
That's where I'm at with it. And they're having a bad season. Their coach got fired. It's a mess down there in Baton Rouge. But that does not change the fact that they got some talented guys on that team.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
There's a reason why everybody thought they would be in Oklahoma's shoes when this season began. And bottom line is, since the loss to Ole Miss, every game has been a playoff game for this Oklahoma team. And they have stayed true to form. And true to form has been an elite defense. Special teams have been very, very good. And the offense has done just enough. And let's recall, Teddy, the team you played on in 2000, final score of the national championship game was 13-2. And that was against an offense that had a Heisman Trophy winner quarterbacking it. So can this formula for this team work enough to win a national championship game?
No. They need more from the offense.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Because you got to remember, we're starting to think about winning the whole dang thing. Mm-hmm. Ohio State, extremely talented across the board. Dynamic players at wide receiver, really good quarterback, elite defense. I think the only other defense in the country that's in the conversation with OU. Now, they haven't been tested the way that we've been tested.
Right.
But there's just no denying. They got dudes all over the field. You're going to have to be able to get to 24 or 27 in a game against some of these other elite teams. Like, that's where we're at now.
Yeah, it feels that way, definitely.
That's how it feels to me. And the good thing is we got the best defense in the country. They're going to have us in every game no matter who we are playing. We got the best kicker in the country. That's a huge weapon. But we just need to get a little better offensively. I'm not saying we got to score 40. That's not what I'm saying. But we got to be able to get to 24. Mm-hmm. And right now, the level of execution from this offense I'm not confident we could do that against the other elite teams in the sport right now. When you get into a quarterfinal, you get into a semifinal, Ted.
You could do it once. You can maybe do it twice, but can you do it 4 times against the best teams in the country? Small percentage chance. So I'm with you there. And I think that you don't have to reinvent anything, really. There's just some stuff there. There's some passing plays that are there. There's some stuff in the run game that you can get to. It's not some unattainable thing that we're striving for here offensively. With some better execution and getting healthy at the running back spot in some different areas, I think you can pull it off. But you got to start now, and this is a great opportunity because LSU's got a really good defense, a lot of really good talent on all 3 levels. So, I mean, this is a great opportunity, stepping stone to start getting that rolling.
You know, what a crazy season for LSU. You've got the government involved in a coaching search and or firing down
there.
Has
Trump picked their coach yet?
I missed it if he did.
That could happen. But, I mean, we looked at the beginning of the season. We said, oh, that's one of the 2 or 3 toughest games on Oklahoma's schedule. Now, not so much, but still could be. Right now, it's the toughest game you got left.
What we said before the season was, I hope it feels like everything is on the line against LSU.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
Guess what?
For one team.
For one team,
but
it is.
Everything is on the line for Oklahoma football in this game. And that's what we were saying before the season. We nailed it.
So Brian Kelly gets fired. Who knows? I mean, we could have a Lane Kiffin announcement between now and the time that the game kicks off on Saturday here in Norman as far as LA. Anyway, I'm getting down a rabbit hole. Point is, Garrett Nussmeier, he's been a little bit banged up. Also, kind of been benched for the most part, but they've won 2 straight games. Survived Western Kentucky. Were able to beat Arkansas, and they're sitting here 7-4. When you look at LSU's offense, Teddy, what do you see?
Talent everywhere. They got a lot of really good players. Backfield is full of guys, a great group of wide receivers like everyone you face in the SEC. A mutant at tight end that can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, this is a really good group. And, you know, as I've watched them, I'm kind of surprised that they're not, you know, the numbers-wise aren't better than what they are with all the talent. They've had some offensive line issues. That's the real root of their problem, both in the passing game and in the running game, but there's players all over the place. I actually like what they do offensively. It's incredibly dangerous. Quick strike, they can hit you at any moment over the top with explosive plays. In the run game, they can hit you with explosive plays. So it's going to be a big challenge. Now, Nussmeier being out is, you know, on one hand, you're playing with a guy with not nearly as much experience. And doesn't have, I don't think, the arm or the ability to fit it in some tight windows that Nussmeier does. But you got a little bit more athletic of a guy back there that can do some things in the run game, can pull it down and make you pay, you know, in the drop back game. So it's still incredibly dangerous. And Coach Venables said this Monday on his coach's show at Rudy's. If you look at LSU, Oklahoma is not going to get the team that played against Western Kentucky. They're going to get the team that played against Alabama and the team that played against Texas A&M. They have played up or down to their opponent this season. So if you're expecting them to come in and, you know, bring their worst game of the season, you're going to be shocked whenever they show up.
What do you see in the defense, Gabe?
It's a good group. I really like the secondary in particular. I think they've got size, they've got length, they've got speed. That being said, and I'm not sure I've said this at all on this show this season, I do think we can have success running the football against them. I think when you look at the core of the defense, they're towards the bottom of the teams that we've played when you look at D-line, the combination of D-line and inside linebacker. I think they're okay along the defensive line. Pyburn, number 44, is their best player on that front. He's super physical. I really like him. But other than that, no one jumps off the tape to me. Inside backer, they're okay. You know, they got good size, decent speed, but I'm not seeing guys that are running through gaps and making a ton of plays. They're shedding blocks and playing super physical. They're solid. The strength to me is the secondary. And I would love to see us to be able to have an efficient day running the football with Xavier Robinson and John Mateer. And I think we can accomplish that against this group, and it feels really good to say that.
Yeah, it does. Going into this game, Xavier Robinson playing through a little. Man, he is beat up. You can tell he may not be what he was 4 or 5 games ago, but he is gutting through this thing. The Sooner offense hoping to have a big day against a talented LSU defense. We'll preview that matchup when we come back on Sooner Game Day presented by Taco Mayo. Welcome back into Sooner Game Day as we get you all set up for OU and LSU coming up here at the Palace on the Prairie on Saturday in the regular season finale. Let's talk about the Sooner offense and quarterback John Mateer. Good to see him get a couple of touchdowns. The long one to Isaiah Satania that Satania took and just went to the house with. Ran the football pretty effectively from the quarterback spot, but there's so much on his plate these days. I mean, offensive line has felt like a work in progress, maybe starting to solidify things a little bit there and beat up at running back. So how do you guys feel like, Gabe, that John Mateer's playing these days, and what do you expect moving forward with him?
He's just having to make a lot of decisions throughout the game. Clearly in the passing game as the quarterback, but a lot of decisions in the read-run game, whether he's going to keep it, he's going to hand it, he's going to throw the RPO to the outside. Like, he's just got a lot on his plate in these games, and I would love to see us give him some plays where he can just breathe and just mindlessly say, here you go, Xavier, take the ball and go do something.
Yeah.
But he's made some really, really good decisions, and he's made some incorrect decisions. So we need to continue to see his decision-making get better, and I would love to see him at some point look a little more comfortable playing from the pocket. He continues to look uncomfortable when he's just got to drop back, go through reads, and play from a pocket that is being constricted as the rush gets closer and closer. But overall, this offense is dependent on this guy. If he makes really good decisions and makes plays with his arms and his legs, we're going to do some good things offensively. If he doesn't make good decisions, he misses a throw here and there, like, the offense stalls out. It's the John Mateer show offensively right now for us, and it's just, I wish he was getting more help from the group. That would, if we could run it more efficiently, and I'm hopeful that we can against the core of this LSU defense, I think that would help him out a lot, Ted.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, you know, some of that stuff, like some of the best stuff we've seen over the last couple of weeks is, you know, some good play action stuff against Alabama at times. But, you know, a lot of it is, you know, as Gabe mentioned, the decision making on the fly. And I think a lot of that slowed him down. I mean, he's a baller, he's a gamer. And it feels like the processing, you know, just a little bit slow. And I mean, you can say that generally for everything with the offense. We're operating a little slow right now. But again, you know, I feel like he's just very incrementally getting healthier and healthier the further we get away from that surgery, and he's getting his confidence back. And he's coming off a game where we asked a lot of him because of how banged up we are at running back. He had a ton of carries out there. So it would help a lot if we did get healthy there and could spread that load carrying the ball a little bit.
Let's talk about the run game. Gabe, you said before the break you feel like they can find some success against LSU. What gives you reason for that? And give us a little offensive line update. How do you feel like that group's come together?
It's interesting. We saw, you know, Foje get the start, but it was mostly Simmons at the right tackle spot after a couple rough plays for Foje early in the game. So I'm interested to see what that situation at right tackle continues to be. I think there's just so many moving parts right now with our run game. It's, hey, speed sweep threat, then the quarterback's reading whether or not to hand the speed sweep or to run a QB gap scheme, and there's just all these moving parts. Personally, especially when you're playing as many young guys as we are along the offensive line, I'd like to see us get it good at like a handful of things and run them 6 to 8 times each game in the run game. We've run a mid-zone play a couple times in the last games that I think's looked really good. And we just haven't got to it enough, in my opinion. But this group as a whole, against Missouri, they kind of just lost the battle more times than they won it. And that's a veteran, really good group from Missouri. I mean, you don't hear Venables compliment a defense very often, the way that he was complimenting the Missouri defense before and after this game. So I think there were some learning moments there for a couple of the young guys, but I just want to see this group's confidence continue to build. They have been a group that has been a better pass protecting group than a run blocking group. So you want to establish the run, but it looks like your offensive line is a better pass protecting group than run blocking group. Ben Arbuckles, he's having to juggle a lot of things between, okay, what is my offensive line good at? What's my running back health situation? Where's Mateer at? Mentally and physically. There's just a lot going on with this offense.
What can
right
we
now.
take advantage of against this defense this week? You know, all those different
There's
things.
also that.
Yeah. So LSU is stout. I mean, you look, Harold Perkins, West Weeks, you mentioned a couple of the other guys down inside and at the inside backer. The defense has been boosted by having 14 interceptions on the back end, Teddy. But if you look at a place Oklahoma might be able to attack them, what are you seeing?
Well, Gabe mentioned the run game. You got to start there because if you just get into the straight drop back game, they are incredibly athletic and incredibly talented on the back end. You mentioned all the interceptions. Like, you throw up those are not 50-50 balls in this game with the talent that they have. They can make plays, and, you know, they let those guys match up quite a bit. They put, you know, their best players on your best players and say, let's see who can win this battle. So if you can get that run game going and force them into some more difficult coverages where they have to give up some grass in the back end, that would be first and foremost. And also, let's be honest, that fits the formula of how we want to win football games right now. So if you could get that run game going, that would probably take you the furthest.
I think as far as the passing game, the middle of the field in between their inside backers, but the space between their inside backers getting in their drops and in front of their safeties, that area of the middle of the field is where I have seen the most teams have success. For whatever reason, they're not really well connected in passing off some of those in-breaking routes, whether it's a deep dig into the middle of the field, a crosser where you're just stopping kind of in that space. That has given them problems consistently. Now, early in the season, Mateer that is an area of the field that he loved to attack. And Keontae Lewis was kind of that guy. I would love to see us get back to some more of that stuff. And I go back to a throw that he had to Jermichael Carter against Bama, right? Really nice zone insert play action, deep dig, it all clears out, and he rips it. One of his best throws of the season. We need to see some more of that in the passing game. That is an area of the field that LSU has shown some vulnerability in the back end of their defense.
14 interceptions for this defense on the LSU side, and it's 2 by 7 different guys. You know, it's not just one guy. So there's a lot of different places where you go, and you better watch out. And that's one thing, Teddy, you said it at the end of the radio broadcast the other day. Turnovers, it's turned the season for this team. They're +5 the last 2 weeks against 2 of the best teams in the country.
What a horrible decision.
Yeah.
Not good.
My goodness.
That's decision-making by a guy who some are putting in the Heisman Trophy race, and Texas A&M is unbeaten. But, yeah, you're right. The turnovers and the interceptions LSU's capable of, is that potentially the only thing that could turn this game in LSU's favor?
Well, it really worries you. You know, it's funny whenever we were talking about LSU's defense with Coach Venables on the Rudy show and talking about the defense and specifically when we got to the secondary, he's like, we recruited that guy, we recruited that guy. That guy is one of the best players in the country. We recruited him. So there's a bunch of talent. And we've seen, you know, we haven't turned the ball over, but Mateer has put the ball in harm's way a couple of times. And with this ball hawking group in the secondary, I don't think they're going to drop it.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
There's 4 throws in the last 2 games where the other team should have caught it. Now, thankfully, they didn't. And that's football. When a team makes a mistake, you got to make them pay. And Alabama didn't make us pay. Missouri didn't make us pay. We can't keep living life dangerously like that, especially against this group. We just can't.
That's a good way to put it. Coming up next, we'll talk about the LSU offense change at quarterback, but talent all across the board. They go against many consider to be the best defense in the country, and that's Brent Venables' group on that side of the ball. We'll preview that matchup next on Sooner Game Day, presented by Taco Maya. I'm back with you on Sooner Game Day, coming to you from Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, where Oklahoma celebrates Senior Day and hosts LSU with so much to play for. A trip to the college football playoff at stake for Oklahoma in this game. We'll begin this segment with The Scoop. It's presented by your neighborhood Brahms ice cream and dairy stores, farm fresh for over 50 years. And we talk about LSU at quarterback, where Garrett Nussmeier came in. Heisman hopes, potential first-round draft pick, hasn't worked out. He's got an abdominal injury. He hasn't played since the Alabama game, which was on November the 8th. It's been Michael Van Buren. They've won a couple of games. Look at Michael Van Buren. Teddy, what's his game? How, if at all, has their offense changed since his insertion as the starting quarterback?
Yeah, he's a big, athletic kid, and he does some really good stuff in the run game. I'd say that's the main place where they differ. Nussmeier, it's not like he was, a statue back there, but he was a little banged up, and that's not necessarily his game. So Van Buren moves around really good. Another guy that Coach Venables said we were really heavy on him in the transfer portal, really wanted to get him because they liked a lot about him. He's got a big arm. He could throw it downfield. But, what they do in the offense is a ton of boot stuff. Get the quarterback outside the pocket, sprint pass, boot pass. And he's a little bit more involved in the running game where you'll see some zone read stuff where he'll pull it out the backside and try and make some defensive end edge players pay. But a big, physical, talented guy doesn't have the experience in Nussmeier, and that's where if you can stop this run game, I mean, this has been the formula for us. Stop the run, put these quarterbacks in third and long, and that's where Venables can throw exotic rushes at you, exotic coverages on the back end, bring guys from different angles, and that's where we can really make him pay, and I think he can, or he will throw us the football if we can stop the run.
On paper, this is a juicy spot for this Oklahoma defense. It really is. You see some of the mistakes that he made there against Western Kentucky, a game that they won by 3 points.
You don't think he's going to be able to dribble it off the grass?
Probably not.
Back against us?
I wouldn't think so with Grayson
crazy,
Halton
man.
and David Stone out there. I mean, that was a little LSU magic right there somehow. But seems like a golden opportunity to me, does it you?
I love the matchup at the line of scrimmage. I do. I think that our defense has played against much better offensive lines consistently in SEC play than what they're going to see from this LSU offensive line. And if you can make Michael Van Buren have to play in third and long, get to a bunch of your pressure package stuff, disguise a bunch of things in the back end, even with as talented as they are at wide receiver and tight end, we're going to be feeling really good about how this game is going to go for Oklahoma's defense. But that's the key. They've got good backs. Caden Durham's a player. Harlan Berry's a player. You got to bottle those guys up and completely shut them down, just like we did Ahmad Hardy a week ago, and make them a one-dimensional offense. If you make them a one-dimensional offense, I think Van Buren's capable of throwing you a couple. And we've had this turnover train has been rolling.
It has. For
this defense. And I think it can continue. Now, one of the things that concerns me, they have serious speed at wide receiver. And I think, despite how this season has gone for LSU, I don't think their coaches are complete idiots. I think that they're going to see if we can cover them vertically. One of the easiest ways for them to not have to rely on the offensive line to hold up for very long is to just drop back for Van Buren to hit the back of his drop and to heave some deep. And our corners, we've seen us pick up quite a few PIs in those situations. We've got to be really good, whether it's Barry and Brown, who can really run. Kyle Parker, he can fly. Xavion Thomas may be the fastest player on their team. Like, they got guys that can absolutely go at wide receiver. And then, and I'm confident in saying this, they have the biggest red zone weapon in college football in Trey'Dez Green at the tight end spot. The guy is just, like Ted said, he's a mutant. So they got weapons, but make them one-dimensional, just like we've been making all these other offenses one-dimensional. I think we'll be just fine.
You know, one thing that would help in both of those regards is a little bit of good news on the health front for Oklahoma's defense. Maybe the return of R. Mason Thomas. We saw Robert Spears-Jennings go down defending a pass in the first half the other day. He had to come off the field. What do you expect with regard to those two guys once we get to Saturday, Ted?
I don't know, purely a guess on my part, but I'd be surprised if we saw R. Mason Thomas outside of like maybe some spot duty. Like if he is ready to go, I think it would be a very small rep count, but I think most likely they'll probably try and get him, if we win this football game, get some more extra weeks built in there before you play a playoff game and try and get him back as close to 100% as possible. And, you know, Robert Spears-Jennings, again, another guy. I'm not sure, but what's great about this team is, you know, those are two starters, and not to say that you don't miss those guys, but it just proves the great quality depth that we have.
You think teams are thrilled when 25 comes out on the field?
I don't think so.
Boom! Oh, my God. Oh, there's Boganowski.
Yeah.
I found him.
Yeah.
But it's something that this staff has done a tremendous job of all season long. You look out there, and in critical moments, Jaden Hardy's playing safety.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter of one-score ball games in the SEC, and you go, wow. You look out there, Marcus Strong is in key series.
Jacoby Johnson. I mean, he didn't play a whole lot during the Alabama game, and then he makes a great play really late in that one, and then has the interception. It's just everyone contributes.
Yes. Reggie Power's another guy that they've been out without, you know, from time to time.
He's gonna miss the first half of this one.
Yeah, he's going to have to sit. That's another one. And that's a guy that's played. I don't know how many games he's played. 50 games in his career here.
That's a great point, Chad, because Reggie Powers is our speed guy at the cheetah position. Now, Kendall Daniels, he's got a lot of coverage skills especially for a guy his size, but what's that adjustment when LSU goes sub-personnel, right? They get all their speed on the field in that first half. If I was LSU staff, I'd say, well, they're going to be playing their backup speed guy at the nickel spot. Let's go a bunch of sub stuff in the first half and see whoever they throw on the field can cover.
Yeah, and the great thing, again, about our defense is, you know, it's very versatile. Davon Jordan can play the cheetah. Peyton Bowen can come down and play the cheetah. They can bring a corner in, slide, one of the cover guys to the inside and bring in Jacoby Johnson. So we've got a lot of moving parts there. Big personnel, and LSU will get in some 2, 3, and 4 tight end stuff. You'll see Kendall Daniels out there, who was great late against Missouri and has done some great stuff for us. I'm good. It's one of the things to watch. What do we do personnel-wise to try and match whenever we do limit them and put them in third down and they're going to be throwing the ball?
The chess match. It's going to be fun to watch on Saturday. Time for My Pleasure, presented by Chick-fil-A. Download the Chick-fil-A app and order all your favorites ahead of time. What would give you the most pleasure, Gabe, at about 7 o'clock on Saturday night? Shutout? Is that what I'm seeing here?
No.
No turnovers?
I'm going to keep the theme going. No turnovers offensively. If we cherish the football, lean on the defense, lean on special teams, we win the game, no problem. And you got to remember, I think we're going to get a better version of LSU than we saw against Western Kentucky.
Guaranteed.
But transfer portal opens in, I don't know how many days.
Yep.
The college football calendar is ridiculous, people. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But a bunch of guys on this roster for LSU, they're thinking about their next move. Who's our next coach going to be? Am I going to stay? Am I going to go? Their agent, their team, they're all trying to get together a plan right now.
It's crazy.
So
It's crazy.
let's punch these guys in the face right at the kickoff and make them say, oh, man, I'm ready for this season to be over.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the coaching staff. Like, don't forget, like, that coaching staff is going to show up and present. You know, they're going to try and get these guys ready to play. But they're same thing for those guys, right? Do they have a job when this thing's over? Life, all the moving parts behind the scenes to try and, you know, gear up for a transition. But I don't know. It's going to be cold. If you jump on them early, I think they'll be looking
What
for
would
the
give you
finish
the
line.
most pleasure at the end of the game? Give us one thing. 0 turnovers.
Just like Gabe said,
Yeah.
0, but this one is shutout.
Oh!
I think if you jump on these guys early and I think the way our defense is playing right now, they're feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they can smell that something special's cooking with this group, and if you can jump on them early, they'll be ready to get on the warm buses and get home.
The final weekend of the regular season, lots of rivalry games. We're going to pick those in just a little bit. But up next, we look ahead at potential conference championship games a week from now. What might we be looking at? What do the fellas expect? That is straight ahead on Sooner Game Day, presented by Taco Mayo. Tap the app and save today. Sooner Game Day, welcome back in alongside Teddy Lehman and Gabe Eichert. I'm Chad McKee. We take a look around the country at potential what might be happening. We won't do a show next week. I mean, it's going to be until the potential playoff that we do another show.
We should definitely do like a playoff prep show.
I'm down with that.
Come on, Grant, make it happen.
Yeah, let's see if we can do that. Our NCAA update is presented by Taco Mayo. Tap the app and save today. So these are likely potential scenarios. They could change. What a great year for Virginia. I mean, it's almost gotten lost in the shuffle. Just an amazing year that they have had.
When Chandler Morris is healthy, that's a fun football team
Is this
to watch.
stop number 3 or 4 for Chandler Morris?
Definitely 3.
3, 4, SMU, Virginia, Oklahoma.
No, TCU.
TCU, yeah. I think it's 3, 4. At any rate, one of these teams is going to get in. I know the ACC's not great, but whoever wins this game is going to get in. Again, these are potential. Texas Tech, BYU. Is Tech a lock to get into the playoff even if they lose the Big 12 championship game?
I think so.
I think so. I will go on record saying I don't think Texas Tech is very good. I would love for us to get a matchup with them in the college football playoff. That would bring me a lot of joy.
They probably need to keep winning.
I think that defense
to
is
happen.
solid, but I think the schedule that they have played, I think people's view of them is very inflated. That is my opinion.
Ted, what else should we keep an eye on this week with regard to matchups we could see next week in those conference championship games?
Well, the Oregon matchup with Washington is interesting. They're coming off of a big game. Washington's a dangerous football team. Notre Dame is a team to watch, but they're not going to lose.
I don't know. Stanford got after Cal, man.
Come on.
Axe is back
Cal.
on the farm. Our guy Stanford Steve couldn't be happier. You got to listen to the start of their recap pod. He is just going in on Cal. It's fantastic.
I got to tell you, man, I don't know, maybe it's biased, but whenever I watch, your BYU Cincinnati, some of these ACC games, to me, there is a clear difference in what those football teams look like compared to what we've seen week in, week out. Just players, the speed, the physicality. I think there's a clear separation between your top Big Ten schools and, 8 of your SEC schools that are in the battle. So we'll see how it goes, though. One-game scenarios, you never know, but I feel like we've definitely been battle tested throughout this season.
And it's a reminder of the great job Oklahoma has done evaluating the roster, who can get better, who will make a difference. And when you play the NIL game, you've got to know, you've got to be absolutely certain. And they've done a great job in transforming this roster from what it was in the Big 12 because they are different leagues. College football playoff bracket, Gabe, and we talk about the group of 5. Tulane would be the highest ranked team out of the group of 5 at this point, but they're 24th in the country, probably not going to make a difference. Do we need a little asterisk when it comes to the playoff with regard to where the group of 5 team needs to be ranked if they're going to go to the playoff?
I'm going to pose a scenario to you guys. Would you rather watch Tulane in the first round or ones if Texas goes?
Vanderbilt maybe would be
Texas
a team that
beats A&M.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt beats Tennessee. Would you rather watch those teams?
No. I do like Tulane's jerseys, but I get what you're saying.
I mean, their head coach is out here saying, we're not a top 25 team. I mean, those are John Summerall's words, not mine. He's like, there must be a lot of bad football out there.
Yeah, that's not a good look for the playoff.
I don't know what's going to happen, whether this thing expands, it stays at 12, but it does feel like if there's any year where the group of 5 shouldn't get a spot, It's this year.
Yeah, it's not perfect. Needs a little tweaking, but it's so nice to be able to be in it.
Antitrust angle to all
Could
of this
be,
stuff.
probably
It's
so. We won't mention
lawyers
that.
and such.
Up next, we are picking some games, rivalry games, Egg Bowl, and potentially an upset in the Iron Bowl. I don't know. Auburn's got to figure out exactly who's going to play a quarterback. Could happen. That'd make things interesting for the SEC title game as well. We're picking games next on Sooner Game Day, presented by Taco Mayo.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola. Sooner Game Day is presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Riverwind Casino, the official entertainment destination of OU Athletics. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. The Sooner Sports Podcast is presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Sooner Game Day is presented by Sooner Kids Club. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Devon Energy. One Oklahoma, powered by Sooner Sports Properties. Fan-fueled, athlete-focused. OU's 2025 football games are available on Ritmo 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on these stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show.
Welcome back into Sooner Game Day. It is rivalry week. Of course, Oklahoma's big rival, Texas. It's not moving from second Saturday in October. That's okay. We're fine with it. Bedlam no longer a player. So we have to look at some of the other rivalry games around the country.
It's a shame, man.
Yeah, as
Could
we
you
do
imagine how bad we would beat them right now?
Here's a look at
so fun.
our standings. I'm struggling. You guys, it's a near dead
Georgia
heat at
Tech.
the top.
Oh, man.
At
Tough.
home, senior day.
21-0, first quarter.
Yeah,
God,
you feel bad for Haynes
smacked.
King. He's had a great year, but he's probably not going to New York. Definitely not going to win the Heisman, and they are not
What
going to
happens
the playoff.
when you throw huge pick sixes
Rough.
in your biggest game in forever at home?
So let's hop into this week's games. You got Texas A&M. Arch Manning last week, guys. He threw for a score, ran for a score, caught a score. Marcel Reed's been very good for Texas A&M at quarterback, but they're not a lock to make the SEC championship game if they lose this game to Texas. Who are you picking, Ted?
Texas.
Really?
I'm picking Texas.
Why?
Texas at home. I like the way that they've played. Arch has really come a long way this season. Really good defense, best defense that Texas A&M has faced. I just think that this is the most complete team that A&M has come up against in a long time. And Texas is hungry. They're still out to prove it. And, they've got, as crazy as it is, I know they're most likely out of the playoff. Maybe there's a crazy scenario, but there's a lot on the line for them just reputation-wise, right? They need this one in a big way.
Gabe?
I really thought I was going to be on the Longhorn Island alone here. But I'm taking Texas also, and here's the reason why. Marcel Reed has proven in some of these big spots, he will make critical errors.
That's true. Yeah.
And while Texas's defense, in my opinion, has regressed a little bit over the season, I still think it's a solid group that has veteran guys in the back end that if he makes those mistakes, they're going to make him pay. I'm a little worried about Texas's offensive line holding up for 4 quarters against that A&M front, but in Austin, Arch playing well. Give me the Longhorns.
I'm for
feel
picks
like I need to
behind
take
you
a
guys.
shower
I've got to
after
go
saying that.
opposite. I have to pick Texas A&M. I have no choice. But
They're favored.
As Ted would say and hasn't said this year, I don't feel good about it. I do not feel good about it. Ohio State, Michigan, I'm told we got to get moving here. Somehow we got behind. We had 6 minutes and we've already gotten behind. Oklahoma's
That
win
doesn't
over
sound like us.
It doesn't. Oklahoma's win over Michigan looks better and better and better by the week. Ohio State, Julian saying a bad game might knock him out of that Heisman Trophy spot, but right now he's there. I like Michigan, but I'm picking Ohio State. I can't go against them. How about you?
You're up first.
Oh, here we go.
Michigan's won 4 in a row. The spread, I think, is preposterously big. I think Ohio State ends the streak. However,
Don't feel good about it?
I am nervous for Ohio State, man. All the pressure on them, Ted.
Yeah, and I agree. That's why I'm taking Michigan. I feel like Ohio State, this is one of those where you build it up for more than it is. I don't know what they've won 4 straight, but I don't know how many times Michigan's been the better team. They have been at times.
They were like a 20-point dog last year on the road and won.
Weren't the best team last year, so I'm going with Michigan.
Okay, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, still lots riding for Vanderbilt. I think Tennessee's performed admirably given what they had to deal with at quarterback all the way back at the start of the year. I just like Vanderbilt. I'm picking Vandy. How about you, Gabe?
It's the flagship wins the football game. Give me the Vols. I just think the explosives in the passing game will be a little too much for Vandy.
I agree. Too many weapons on the outside. Vandy could run the ball really well, but I would take the explosive Tennessee offense over Vandy.
Iron Bowl, Alabama, Auburn. So much has gone wrong for the Tigers. They got quarterback injuries. Who knows? Jackson Arnold may come back in and play quarterback at some
I don't
point
think
in
that's
this
going to
game.
happen, Chad.
Maybe not, but this would make the decade for Auburn if they could win. Are they going to?
They are not. Now, I don't know. I think playing Deuce Knight at quarterback for them, using his mobility. I think Daniels and Knight will both play. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting quarterback situation. Auburn's defense is legit. There's no doubt about it, but we all know what's on the line for Alabama. They're going to win the game.
Yeah, I think they kill them.
All right.
Alabama wins big.
Picks only Oregon, Washington, Gabe.
Give me the Ducks.
Ted?
I'm taking Washington.
Whoa.
I got to make up some ground.
Dude, you are a
I don't know
bold
who
man.
to pick. Oregon's going to win the game. I'm taking them. And then Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Nobody cares about the game. They want to hear what Lane Kiffin says afterward.
One of the football teams is better than the other. I think the mercenaries that Ole Miss has on that roster, they're going to go, yeah, this isn't that weird. Let's go play the football game.
I think Mississippi State's ahead at halftime, but Ole Miss drives around.
I got to take
like
Mississippi State to gain ground. Those are our picks coming up next. Sooners in the NFL as we wrap up Sooner Game Day.
Sooner Game Day is presented by Air Comfort Solutions. Your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Coca-Cola. Fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola. OG&E. We energize life. OU Fan Shop. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com. OU Health. Never done and never outdone.
Wrapping up Sooner Game Day with Sooners in the NFL, presented by One Oklahoma, powered by Learfield, fan-fueled, athlete-focused. Kind of a light week for Sooners in the NFL. However, incredible game. Cowboys come from behind, win over Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, Teddy.
That was fun to watch. I don't know what's happened to me, but I found myself cheering for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Just never happened one time in my life, but that was fun.
It's all the former Sooners on the roster. Hot Takes are presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. What's the winning call Saturday, Gabe?
2 rushing touchdowns for
like
the Oklahoma Sooners.
Ted, how about you?
0.6 sacks, and we score on D.
Wow, we'll take that. Just write it down. Ted Lehman said so. It is the regular season finale, 2:30 on ABC from right here at the Palace on the Prairie Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium. For Teddy Lehman and Gabe Eichert, I'm Chad McKee. We'll see you in the postseason here on Sooner Game Day.